Ute, Papa Ute. Guys, if you're just coming in, please let's like. Let's go like. Thank you so much. Oh, gee. Oh. Enough is the gigodo. Hi, Sophia. Hello. Yeah, how are you, Sophia? Hope you're good. Hi. Hello. Guys, let's go like as you come in. Please, let's go like. Shine bright like a diamond. Sophia. Shine, shine bright like a diamond. Sophia. Shine, shine. Keep shining, Sophia. How are you, dear? Hope you're good. Hope you are good. Yeah, I'm just trying to wait for others to join. I don't know why this. I don't know why my son fleets this place. It's making it stuff. A big shout out to Star. Shout out to Sophia. Hi, Star. Oh, Margot. I beg your pardon. A big shout out to Margot. Hope you're good. Hiya. Hello. A big shout out to Haley. Hi. Guys, as we are just coming out, please let's go like. If you have not subscribed, please let's subscribe. Please let's go like, guys. Let's go like so we could start. Yeah, the first person here was Sophia. Hi. Guys, please let's go like so we can start. Oh, thank you so much. A big shout out to Sophia. A big shout out to Bella. A big shout out to I love your hair. Thank you, gorgeous. Guys, let's go like and subscribe. Clarky. A big shout out to Hope. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, guys. A big shout out to Kali. Guys, can we please go like? And if you haven't subscribed, please let's subscribe. Thank you. Put down your names on the comment section. You know I will do it. Clock it. You're amazing. You're amazing as well. A big shout out to Ola. Shout out to Elise. A big shout out to Avery. Shout out to Hannah. Guys, let's go. Clack it. A big shout out to Nine Night. Shout out to Andy. A big shout out to Alana. Let's go. Please drop your names on the comment section back to back. I'll give you a shout. Let's go. A big shout out to Sonny. Shout out to Mila. A big shout out to Mecca. Shout out to Lassie. A big shout out to Sylvia. Shout out to Rukayat. A big shout out to Nora. A big shout out to Chloe. A big shout out to Lucy. A big shout out to Andrew. Guys, let's take the like up to 10. And please, let's go subscribe. Can we take the like up to 10 back to back? And guys, let's go subscribe. Drop your names on the comment section back to back, okay? A big shout out to Zoe. A big shout out to Jack. I'm very sad and lonely. Drop your name. I'll give you a shout out. You'll be fine. A big shout out to Eva. A big shout out to Shukru. A big shout out to Emila. A big shout out to Eva. Shout out to Jessie. Shout out to Alicia. Shout out to Bella. A big shout out to Mata. Shout out to Letty. Shout out to Meltida. Shout out to Alicia. Guys, let's go. Let's go. Can we take the like up to 20? And please, let's go subscribe. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. A big shout out to Brisson. Shout out to Release. A big shout out to Audrey. Shout out to Brissy. A big shout out to Maria. Shout out to Mira. A big shout out to Sylvia. Shout out to Jessica. A big shout out to Bella. Shout out to Elizabeth. Shout out to Lily. A big shout out to Shanku. Shout out to Lesson 3. A big shout out to Release. Shout out to Anna. A big shout out to Leon. Shout out to Ima. Shout out to Yuki. A big shout out to Doria. Shout out to Leon. Shout out to Chad. A big shout out to Michelle. A big shout out to Savannah. Shout out to Lobkey. A big shout out to Brotherhood. A big shout out to Gullen. Hi, Gullen. How are you, Gullen? Hope you're good. A big shout out to Jasmine. A big shout out to Taylor. Shout out to Isabella. Clock it. A big shout out to Nadia. Shout out to Muhammad. Shout out to Serenity. Let's go. Drop your names on the comment section back to back and I will give you a shout out. Don't forget to like and to subscribe. I love you all. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Ayob. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Jace. Shout out to City. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know. I think it was the internet that went off. Yeah, let's carry on. A big shout out to Rosie. Shout out to Juliet. Shout out to Avani. Shout out to Billy. A big shout out to Stella. Shout out to Briley. Shout out to Evria. Shout out to Alexa. Shout out to Oli. Shout out to Daniel. A big shout out to Briley. Shout out to Sola. Wow, pretty names. Absolutely pretty. A big shout out to Win. Shout out to Liliana. Shout out to Adia. A big shout out to guys, please put your names on the comment section. A big shout out to Kiki. Iconic. How are you, dear? A big shout out to Jaden. Shout out to Rosie. Shout out to Kani. Shout out to Alexander. Shout out to Ihunjin. A big shout out to Anna. Shout out to, you like my stream, thank you. A big shout out to to Mitsuri. A big shout out to Afshin. A big shout out to Ria. Shout out to Naya. Shout out to Evelyn. A big shout out to Ria. Shout out to Justin. A big shout out to Nase Sadrija. A big shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Cake. Shout out to Mazi. A big shout out to Milena. A big shout out to Andrew. A big shout out to Alicia. A big shout out to Milena. Shout out to Defeat. A big shout out to Fahizal. Shout out to Small. Shout out to Bezal. A big shout out to guys, please let's drop our names. I'm seeing the same names, and yeah. A big shout out to Choose, a big shout out to Cake, shout out to Ellie's. Guys, can we take the like up to 40? And please let's like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Let's use 2 seconds to like and to subscribe. Then put your names on the comment section back to back. I'll give you a shout out. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Click. Shout out to Asme. Shout out to Noah. A big shout out to Troy. Shout out to Maxie. Shout out to Daniel. Shout out to April. Shout out to Lauren. A big shout out to Yo. Shout out to Kenya. A big shout out to Yusa. A big shout out to Work. Shout out to Love. A big shout out to Nose. Shout out to Officer. A big shout out to Echo. Let's go. A big shout out to Robin and Kaya Kani. A big shout out to Shano. A big shout out to Carolina. Guys, let's take the like up to 50 and please let's subscribe. Thank you so much. Let's go on the comment section. Let's put our names down. A big shout out to Fatima. A big shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Kim. Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Marcy. A big shout out to Kane. Shout out to Fatima. Shout out to Benzo. Shout out to Mason. A big shout out to Walk. Shout out to Eden. Let's go. Drop your names on the comment section back to back. I'll give you a shout. A big shout out to Easton. Shout out to Vampire. A big shout out to Taylor. Shout out to Ken. A big shout out to Samantha. A big shout out to Manager. A big shout out to Amaya Taylor. A big shout out to Design. Shout out to Stray Kids. A big shout out to Jacob. Shout out to NASA. Shout out to Baram. A big shout out to Do You Sub? Thank you so much for subscribing. I love you guys. I love you guys so much. Please let's go like. Can we take the like up to 50? Please let's take the like up to 50 and please let's subscribe. And then you drop your names on the comment section. Thank you so much. Just 2 seconds is enough to click on the like button and also to subscribe. Let's go. 2 seconds, 2 seconds, and drop your names on the comment section back to back. A big shout out to Iris. A big shout out to Lisa. Shout out to Stacy. A big shout out to JC. A big shout out to Aaron Taylor. Shout out to Nemix. Shout out to Jacoby. Shout out to Kane. Shout out to Amelia. A big shout out to Annie. Shout out to Allah. A big shout out to Jesse. A big shout out to Joshua. Let's go. Put your names on the comment section back to back. I give you a shout, okay? A big shout out to Navasa. Guys, can you drop your names on the comment section back to back? I give you a shout. Let's go. Don't forget to take the like up to 60. Let's go. You like and you subscribe. Let's go. Then you put your names on the comment section. A big shout out to Stacy. A big shout out to Abby. Shout out to Lunch. A big shout out to Baram. A big shout out to Paloma. Shout out to Priscilla. A big shout out to Jaden. Shout out to Nose. Shout out to Jacoby. Shout out to Kali. Shout out to Maria. A big shout out to Zoe. A big shout out to Paloma. Shout out to Damilola. Shout out to Gloria. A big shout out to Jana. Shout out to Molly. A big shout out to John. Shout out to Mabel. A big shout out to Novalina. Let's go. Can we take the like up to 60? Yeah, let's take the like up to 60. And please, let's go subscribe. Yeah, guys, let's quickly take the like up to 60. And let's subscribe as well. Then you drop your names on the comment section back to back. Let's go, let's go, let's go. A big shout out to Cam. Shout out to Stacy. Shout out to Barab. Shout out to Design. Shout out to Elizabeth. Shout out to Rian. Shout out to Sweet. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Rolla. Shout out to Launch. Shout out to Hallie. Shout out to Design. Shout out to Freya. Shout out to Callie. Shout out to Maria. Shout out to Ami. Shout out to Paris. Shout out to Bara. Shout out to Ezra. Shout out to Callie. Shout out to Cleo. Shout out to Liam. Shout out to Vicky. Shout out to Lisa. Shout out to Robert. Shout out to Diso. Guys, let's go like and subscribe. Let's go. Then you drop your names on the comment section back to back. Let's go. Be shout out to Ben. Shout out to August. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Masin. A big shout out to Maveri. Shout out to Liam. Shout out to Haram. A big shout out to Chloe. Guys, let's go. Drop your names on the comment section. I give you a shout out. Let's go, let's go, let's go, go, go. Hi. A big shout out to Freya. A big shout out to Ellie. Shout out to Marcy. Shout out to Vaspa. Shout out to Eliska. Shout out to Luis. Shout out to Camelia. Shout out to Kaki. Shout out to Kiki. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Georgia. A big shout out to Joshua. Shout out to Josiah. A big shout out to Bray. Shout out to Adam. Let's go. You're welcome. You're welcome, guys. Thank you for thanking me. You're welcome. Please, let's take the like up to 70 and let's go subscribe. Let's go back to back. A big shout out to Baram. Shout out to Evigs. Shout out to Gellet. A big shout out to Baram. Shout out to Cassie. Shout out to Evis. Shout out to Maveri. You look beautiful. Thank you so much, gorgeous. A big shout out to Batalemu. A big shout out to Taria. Shout out to James. Shout out to Talia and Aliyah. Shout out to Isabel. Shout out to Sarah. A big shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Isabel. A big shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Angel. A big shout out to Aya. Shout out to Tera. Shout out to Adams. Shout out to Vaspa. A big shout out to Aya. Shout out to Jimmy. Shout out to Aya. A big shout out to Lara. Guys, drop your names on the comment section back to back. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, let's keep going. Let's drop our names back to back. I give you a shout out. Let's go, let's go, let's go. A big shout out to Crystal. Shout out to Annabelle. Shout out to Jimmy. Shout out to Cassie. Shout out to Aya. Shout out to Araya. A big shout out to Simran. A big shout out to Aya. Shout out to Fatima. A big shout out to Nina. Shout out to Anna. I love you too. I do love you too. A big shout out to Levy. Shout out to Leah. A big shout out to Gina. I love you too. I love you guys. I love you so much. A big shout out to David. Let's go. A big shout out to Gina. Shout out to Iris. Let's go. A big shout out to Future. A big shout out to John. Shout out to Understand. A big shout out to Jay. I love it too. A big shout out to Namudari. A big shout out to Kalise. Shout out to Esli. Shout out to Understand. A big shout out to Ima. Shout out to Future. Shout out to Esli. Shout out to Jay. Let's go. Clock it. Oh dear, dear, oh dear. Guys, let's take the like up to 70 and let's subscribe. Like and subscribe, guys. Can we take the like up to 70? Please, if you haven't subscribed, please let's go subscribe. And drop your names on the comment section back to back. Back to back. A big shout out to Simra. Shout out to Ima. Shout out to Understand. A big shout out to Ima. A big shout out to Maria. Shout out to Big Bala. Shout out to London. A big shout out to it's your birthday. Shekina. Shekina, is it your birthday? Happy birthday, Shekina. Yeah, I think I'm going to sing happy birthday, yeah, to you. Okay, happy birthday. Sorry, I weren't here. Oh, Pat, no worries. Thank you so much. I did my birthday a couple of days ago, and yeah, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. I appreciate you all. I saw your comments, I saw the love, I saw the likes. Yeah, it was overwhelming. Thank you so much. Like, the love was massive. Thank you, guys. A big shout out to Michael, Slay Queen, Clark It. A big shout out to Joshua, Buddy. A big shout out to Frankie. Oh my days. A big shout out to Rosie. Rosie, is today your birthday? Oh, I think I need to put down your names. Yeah, let's do that. So when it's time to sing, I'll sing. Give me the other pen. Is there? The is there? The many pens. Father Christmas pen. A big shout out to Ahiyuku. A big shout out to Nadia. Shout out to Lavin. Let's go. Rosie. Rosie. Please, if it's your birthday, can you drop, yeah, it's my birthday, then you write your name at the side, okay? Please, let's do that quickly. Let's go. A big shout out to Rio. Shout out to Donson. A big shout out to Dawn. A big shout out to Fire. Shout out to London. A big shout out to Leila. A big shout out to Tanya. Tanya, today's your birthday, okay? Please, no lying. No lying. And it's not fair on those that are really having it, okay? A big shout out to Lasse. A big shout out to Gay Rose. Shout out to Gina. Shout out to Sort Mine. Shout out to Lasse. Shout out to Jaina. Shout out to Fat Farmer. Shout out to Clara. Clara, Fire, and Eddies. A big shout out to Benjamin. Let's go. Shout out to Dominic. Shout out to Caleb. Shout out to Alec. Shout out to Ava. A big shout out to Allah, besties for life. We are all my besties. Say hello to me. A big shout out to Dominic. Shout out to Kama. Shout out to Kimberly. Shout out to Tiaren. A big shout out to Shakina. Shakina, right? Today's your birthday. A big shout out to Willow. Shout out to Josie. Shout out to Darcy. Let's go. Big shout out to Ollie. Shout out to Shika. Shout out to Dominic. A big shout out to Ashi. Shout out to Eric. A big shout out to Yalani. Shout out to Racy. Shout out to Eric. A big shout out to Skylar. Oh, a big shout out to Caroline. Shout out to Uranus. Shout out to Jackson. A big shout out to Janili. Shout out to Kiara. Shout out to Gay. Shout out to Aloria. Shout out to E. Let's go. A big shout out to Hannah. Big shout out to Hijab. Shout out to Darcy. Shout out to Uranus. A big shout out to Mackenzie. A big shout out to Matthew. Shout out to Jeremiah. Shout out to Elon. Shout out to Pooh. I wanna make pullover. I'm on a red day to pullover. And I like pullover. That's it.
The king is spreading into my daddy's perfume.
Yeah.
Look, it's almost finished.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. A big shout out to Same. A big shout out to Pool. A big shout out to Vlad. A big shout out to guys, please let's go. Trinity. Please, I need to see more of your names, okay? So that I can give you a shout out. And please don't forget to go like and to subscribe. I love you all. A big shout out to Nadia. Shout out to Madeleine. Let's go. A big shout out to Onta. I just need your names, please. If you have any question, we'll wait till 10 minutes to the end of the live. I love you. A big shout out to Fatme. Shout out to Jasmine. Shout out to Deku. Shout out to Mackenzie. A big shout out to your lovely sister, Mahida. Shout out to Bowling. Shout out to children. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Francisco. Shout out to Holly. A big shout out to Bella. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Alfredo. Shout out to Faith. A big shout out to love you too. Thank you so much, guys. Mascot, yes. A big shout out to Kelly Singh. Shout out to Esther. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Solid. Shout out to Savia. Shout out to Esther. Shout out to Kenzie. Shout out to Melina. A big shout out to Grace. Shout out to Sienna. A big shout out to Lexi. Shout out to Wedge. A big shout out to Lara. Shout out to Nahida. A big shout out to Rema. Shout out to Lara. Shout out to Fatma. Shout out to Samantha. What's he smelling? A big shout out to Lara. Shout out to Diana. Shout out to Brenda. A big shout out to Essie. Shout out to Akram. A big shout out to Grace. Shout out to Riva. Shout out to Toby. A big shout out to T. Shout out to Ellis. Shout out to Adi. Adi. Shout out to Pataprina. A big shout out to Lara. Shout out to Toby. A big shout out to Ima. Shout out to Flesha. A big shout out to Kalela. Shout out to Louis. Guys, let's go. A big shout out to Aaron. Shout out to Ali. Shout out to Lara. Shout out to Edward. A big shout out to Ceremony. Shout out to Aaron. Shout out to Lara. Shout out to she. Oh my days, this thing is not charging. Guys, I'm gone.
Oh.
Guys, I'm gone. I need to charge this phone. Oh. Okay, it's charging now. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you. A big shout out to Shakina Joy. Shout out to Shijana Jaha. Shout out to Pakistan. Shout out to Reina. Shout out to Tess. A big shout out to Mary. Shout out to Maggie. Hi, Maggie. Shout out to Adam. Shout out to Faith. Shout out to Oda. Shout out to Lucas Vanda. Shout out to Hudson. A big shout out to Longero. Let's go. Guys, let's take the like up to 100. 2 seconds. Click on like and sub button. Click on like and sub button. Please sing. A big shout out to Lila. Guys, let's go like, please. Can we go like? Take the like up to 100 and please let's subscribe. Back to back. Thank you. I love you guys. I love you so much. A big shout out to Chad Rees. Shout out to Reynard. Shout out to Golf Ball. Shout out to Lola. Shout out to Tia. Shout out to Yasha. A big shout out to EGG Egg. A big shout out to Aloria. Shout out to Rose. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Onk. Shout out to Cathy Monk. Shout out to Jaha. A big shout out to Jasmine. Shout out to Shell. Shout out to Zara. I was here yesterday. I love you so much, Mackenzie. I saw you. A big shout out to Allison. Hello, darling. Shout out to Zara. A big shout out to Erika. Shout out to Alice. Shout out to Segway. Let's go. A big shout out to Grace. Shout out to Elaf. Shout out to me, Carla. Shout out to Zara. Shout out to thank you. A big shout out to Ella Rose. A big shout out to Michaela. Shout out to Emily. A big shout out to Fatma. Shout out to Freddie. Shout out to Tomato Pirate. Shout out to Zavia. Shout out to Saul. Shout out to Katia. Katia is new. You're welcome, Katia. Nice to meet you, my darling. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, let's go. Can we drop our names? A big shout out to Aaron. Aaron. Shout out to Eunice. Shout out to Maria. Shout out to JC. Shout out to Serene. A big shout out to Wawa. Shout out to Tomato Pirate. A big shout out to Jay. Shout out to Harriet. Okay, Harriet birthday is it today? Is today Harriet is your birthday? Yeah, guys, let's go like and subscribe. Mackenzie, hello. Shout out to Lubna. A big shout out to Lubna. Shout out to Poppy. Shout out to Fabi. Shout out to Please Nelly. Shout out to Design. Shout out to Rowan. Rowan and Avaia. Shout out to Team. A big shout out to Yasmi. Shout out to Mello. Shout out to Team. Shout out to Ghosting. A big shout out to Suhi. Shout out to Danielle. Let's go. Guys, let's take the like up to 110. And please, let's go subscribe. Just 2 seconds to like and to sub. Let's go, guys. 2 seconds. Then put your names on the comment section back to back. Put your names on the comment section back to back for a lovely shout out from an angelic voice. Guys, let's like and sub. Let's go. A big shout out to Ollie. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Annabelle. A big shout out to Lily. Shout out to Father. A big shout out to Danny. Shout out to Carissa. Shout out to Annabelle. Shout out to Willow. A big shout out to Drake. Wow. Lovely names, guys. Lovely names. A big shout out to Malak. Shout out to Rian. A big shout out to Kiki. Shout out to Willow and Ozzy. A big shout out to Monia. Shout out to Mickey. Shout out to Golden. Shout out to Oma. Shout out to Coco. Shout out to DJ. Shout out to Gideon. A big shout out to Jaden. Shout out to Luke. Shout out to Corey. Shout out to Sasha. Sasha, you're my biggest fan. Thank you, darling. Thank you so much. Please, let's like and sub. Click on the like button and subscribe button. Thank you so much. I love you all. Back to back. And please drop your names on the comment section. Back to back. As you can see, we are going very fast. Very, very fast. Let's go. A big shout out to Osin. Shout out to Leila. Shout out to Diana. Shout out to Amber. A big shout out to Maria. Shout out to Christina. Shout out to Ella. Shout out to Jaden. D. Jaden. Shout out to Mohammed. Shout out to Lesego. Shout out to Morgos. Shout out to Progress. Shout out to Ella. Shout out to KK. Shout out to Babel. A big shout out to Elasman. Guys, put down your names. Please put down your names, guys. Let's go. A big shout out to Aliyah. Shout out to Igu. Shout out to Not My. A big shout out to Rain. Shout out to Kata. Shout out to Friend. Shout out to Babel. Shout out to Nicholas. Shout out to Asha. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Janaya. A big shout out to Saramni. Shout out to Madina. Shout out to Igu. A big shout out to Jasmine. Shout out to Ray. A big shout out to Hila. Yeah. A big shout out to Dizu. Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Shania. Shout out to Delhi. A big shout out to Jackie. Shout out to Madina. Shout out to Achikwa Tia. Shout out to Ella Rose. Thank you. A big shout out to Lily. Guys, can we take the like up to 120? And please let's subscribe. Let's like and sub. Thank you. Please let's like and sub. A big shout out to Caroline. A big shout out to Calories. Shout out to Delilah. Shout out to Samrani. Let's go. Thank you for subbing, Petal. Thank you so much. Shout out to Ayesha. Shout out to Dylan. Shout out to Minan and Mackenzie. Maybe shout out to Friend. Shout out to Joshua. Shout out to Shania. Shout out to Gracie. Shout out to Every. Shout out to I love. Oh, thank you so much. Shout out to Alisa. Shout out to Tommy. Shout out to Bihonsa. Shout out to Yusra. Shout out to Jamal. Shout out to Grandpa. Shout out to Rank. Shout out to Israel. Shout out to Ilas Kama. Shout out to Size. Shout out to Friend. Thank you so much. Shout out to Jisoo. Shout out to Dakota. Shout out to Scarlett. A big shout out to Elas Ekman. Shout out to Sloan. Oh. Oh. Shout out to Hair. SpongeBob. Shout out to Rose. Shout out to Round. Shout out to Air. Shout out to Laya. Shout out to Rose. Shout out to Save. Shout out to Natty. Shout out to Mana. Guys, let's go. Let's drop your names, okay? Don't forget to like and to subscribe. Let's go like and subscribe, okay? Guys, let's go like and sub. Put down your name on the comment section. A big shout out to Isabel. Shout out to Lorenzo. A big shout out to Mackenzie. Guys, let's go like and subscribe. Thank you. And put your names on the comment section back to back. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. A big shout out to Joby. Shout out to Joey. A big shout out to Nora. Shout out to Lorenzo. Shout out to Essa. Shout out to Gablin. Let's go. Let's go. Big shout out to Fatuma. Shout out to Amelia. Hi, darling. A big shout out to Lorenzo. A big shout out to Jack. Hi, guys. Yeah, I see your comments, but we're just giving shout outs now. So just drop your names. Let's key into it. Okay, the questions will be later. A big shout out to Ara. Shout out to Lorenzo. Shout out to NC. Shout out to Addison. Shout out to Kia. Shout out to Robin. A big shout out to Kian. Shout out to Super. Shout out to Gracelyn. Shout out to Anthony. Shout out to Danny. What did they do this morning? Hey, Baba. A big shout out to Nose. Shout out to Megan. Shout out to Niam. A big shout out to Willow. Shout out to Millie. Shout out to Bovid. Shout out to Brayley. Shout out to Essa. Shout out to Leela. Shout out to Charlie's. Guys, please let's go like and sub. Let's go like and sub and put your names on the comment section. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Charlie. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Super. Shout out to Elisha. Shout out to Tommy. Shout out to Julia. Shout out to Edida. Shout out to Red. Shout out to North. A big shout out to Lorenzo. Shout out to Annie. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Burger. Shout out to Letty. Shout out to Bingo. Shout out to Letty. Shout out to North. Shout out to Cornelia. Shout out to Kenzia. Shout out to Eliska. Shout out to Wilson. A big shout out to Brian. Shout out to her. Shout out to Cookies. A big shout out to Bella. Shout out to Nanina. Hi, Nanina. Yeah, I remember you guys. Guys, you don't need to ask. I remember you. Okay? Can we put our names on the comment section? I remember you. Why not? Especially those that always stay long in the live stream, and at the end, before the end of the live stream, we just chat a bit. Yeah, I remember those people, those lovely people. So I don't forget. Yeah, they stay long on the stream. They keep putting their names on the comment section, and at the end, before I leave, I take questions. So I see them, they ask these questions and I answer them. So why not? A big shout out to Priscilla. Shout out to Sri Delda. Shout out to Miralia. Shout out to Mika. Shout out to Sri Zelda. Shout out to Violet. Shout out to Military. Shout out to Miralia. Shout out to Time. Shout out to Officer. Oh, all right, darling. I'll see you soon. Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Rebecca and Bohi. Shout out to Ellie Thomas. Shout out to Sarah. Yeah, I love you too, Nanina. A big shout out to Bingo. Shout out to Jackson. May I so rest in peace. A big shout out to Jaylee. Shout out to Rayleigh. Shout out to Sid Huja. Shout out to Elijah. Shout out to Skylar. Shout out to Lou Jai. Shout out to Skylar. Shout out to Azra. Shout out to Lujan. Shout out to Hadley. Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Josie. Guys, please let's go like. Yeah, let's go like and subscribe. Thank you so much, guys. Guys, can we go like and subscribe? Thank you. I'm at a point in life, you can understand me, you're nothing. Sometimes the other thing I'm okay. Cause who are you to judge me like say you the only pass? I dey love my life, I give peace up, I dey try survive. Me and you. Do you know what that song is? You know what? Do you know the meaning of that song? The meaning of that song says, "Who are you to judge me like you are only pass? We are all working and we're striving, you know. So nobody's holy, you know." Clock it. A big shout out to Eri. Shout out to Super. Shout out to Jomi. Shout out to Inara. Shout out to Amira Faith. Shout out to Super. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Hallie. Shout out to Lulu. Shout out to Alex. A big shout out to Connie. Shout out to Fabio. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Evans. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Morning. Shout out to Lily. A big shout out to Oma. Shout out to Ayan. Shout out to Lily Pegla. Shout out to Rocky. Shout out to Michael. Let's go. A big shout out to Lily. Shout out to Rania. Shout out to Michael. A big shout out to Azra. Shout out to Livy. Shout out to Marie. A big shout out to Super. A big shout out to Hey. Shout out to Ranyam. Shout out to Lily Pink. Shout out to Afras. Oh, thank you, Hara, for wishing me happy birthday. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Goprit. Shout out to Zachariah. Shout out to Nicholas. Shout out to Joel. Shout out to Joy. Shout out to Jackson. You are the best. You are the best. Thank you for wishing me happy birthday. Thank you, darling. A big shout out to Oli. Shout out to Rico. See my Rico. That's my magic. A big shout out to Ola. Shout out to Coco. To Coco as Okay, guys. Yeah, I just want to happy birthday. Thank you so much. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Yeah, my biggest fan. Yeah, Johnny. Thank you, darling. Happy birthday. Thank you. A big shout out to Bella. Shout out to Laya. Shout out to Anik. Thank you for wishing me happy birthday. I love you all. It's all coming now. Thank you. And it has gone. Yeah, the birthday is over till next year. Clock it. A big shout out to Aliyah. Shout out to Kalia. Um, a big shout out to Aliyah. So, guys, I want to sing for. I have four names. I think they're having their birthday today. So that is what we do. If you are not new, yeah, if you're not new here, you know that I always sing for those that are celebrating every day, okay? Which is what I love doing as well. So, guys, let's sing for these four lovely ladies and guys, yeah, on their birthday. So, let's go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rosie, Tanya, Shakina, Ariet, and everyone. Happy birthday to everyone. Everyone that is celebrating today, okay? Yeah, I wish you a lovely birthday celebration and a lovely year ahead of you. A big shout out to Lulu. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Tatum. Why did he say he's not going to do it?
I just said I should leave him alone.
A big shout out to Aras. Shout out to Rayleigh. You're my fave. Thank you, darling. A big shout out to Emily. Shout out to James. A big shout out to D. Shout out to Blake. A big shout out to Josley. Shout out to Emmanuel. A big shout out to Rayan. Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Cornelia. Shout out to Monday. Shout out to Roman. Shout out to Dakota. A big shout out to a big shout out to Jackson. A big shout out to Lincoln. Shout out to Laura. Shout out to Sophie. A big shout out to On. Shout out to Elena. Guys, let's take the like up. Please, let's go like and sub. Thank you. Just 2 seconds. Click on the like button. click on the subscribe button, then go to the comment section. You drop your names back to back. Yeah, drop your names back to back. Please, if I've not given you a shout out, just be patient with me. Just keep putting your name out there. I will see it, okay? Please, let's like. Just 2 seconds. Let's like and let's subscribe. Please, let's go subscribe.
Can't tell them to go subscribe to.
Can you bring your that phone for me? A big shout out to Dara. Shout out to Oni. Shout out to Tantum. Your daddy's phone now is downstairs. To what? Oh. A big shout out to Kat. A big shout out to Dora. Shout out to Poison. Shout out to Bella. Let's go. A big shout out to Lala. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Lee. Shout out to Dora. A big shout out to Ben. Shout out to C. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to Dry. Shout out to C. Shout out to Waylon. A big shout out to T. Please say that again. T she something. A big shout out to Yunche. Shout out to North. Shout out to Lee. Shout out to Rosie. Shout out to Faith. Shout out to Villard. Shout out to Evelina. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Lucky Blogs. Shout out to Ona. Shout out to Alfine. Shout out to Chatao. Shout out to Kim. Shout out to Lisa. Shout out to C. Shout out to Priestley. Shout out to Blaine. Shout out to Navia. A big shout out to Emini. Shout out to Selam. Shout out to Shaka. Shout out to Braden. Shout out to Dani Latted. Shout out to Alexander. Shout out to Ima. A big shout out to Kiki. Shout out to Kentley. Shout out to Gentrude. Shout out to Azar. Shout out to Sienna. Shout out to Cash. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Airplane. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Rose. A big shout out to Gabby. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Evie. Shout out to C. Shout out to Christine. Guys, let's please like and sub. Click on the like button and please let's go subscribe. Then you go to the comment section and drop your names back to back, back to back, back to back. Click on the like button and let's go subscribe. Then you drop your names on the comment section. Let's go, let's go. Not now, until you start. A big shout out to Mika. Shout out to Rhea. Shout out to Romia. Shout out to Oma. We'll definitely do it. But not now. You need to put more. You need to put more out there, okay? A big shout out to Lauren and Han. Shout out to Azar. Shout out to Gavin. Shout out to Azar. A big shout out to Nicholas Jackson. Shout out to Painting. Shout out to Delia. Shout out to Deborah. Shout out to Nicholas. Shout out to Oma. Shout out to Blue. Shout out to Aquim. Shout out to Uhinjin. Shout out to Darius. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Isanel. Yeah, I've sung happy birthday for everyone, including you. Yeah, thank you. A big shout out to Oli. Shout out to Kent Gunn. Shout out to Delila. Shout out to Day. Shout out to Charles. Shout out to Natasha. Yeah. Guys, please let's take the like up to 60, and please let's subscribe. Please let's like and sub. A big shout out to Impossible George. Shout out to Kenga. Shout out to Bother. Shout out to Luke. A big shout out to Airplane. Please, guys, no questions now, please. Try and understand. Please, guys, try and understand. No question yet. It's just your names that I need for shout out. Then, after which, before the end of the life, I will take questions, please, guys. So we don't, so that I don't struggle with both names and answering question. You understand what I mean? So please, let's be focused. Let's be focused on the names. A big shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Philoti. Shout out to Jiso. Shout out to Ranjana. Shout out to Justice. Shout out to Oma. Shout out to Ines. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Abigail. Shout out to Shrek. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Johnny. Shout out to Amos. Hi, I'm your biggest fan. Clark it. Thank you so much for understanding. Yeah, I love you. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Brila. Thank you, Brila, for subbing. Thank you. A big shout out to Amos. Shout out to Addy. A big shout out to Oli Hardwood. Shout out to Paisley Cross. Yeah. Shout out to Dora. Shout out to Michael. A big shout out to Isa Philo Tia. Shout out to Lewis. Shout out to Dora. Shout out to Finley. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Finley. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Strobai. Shout out to Simo Nana. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Christian. Shout out to Tavian. Shout out to Doreen. Shout out to Arlene. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Jack. Shout out to Fatima. Shout out to Charlotte. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Na. I'm such a big fan, really. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Dahlia. Shout out to Shout out to Annabelle. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Brooke. 67. You are the best. Namasha. Namasha, you're the best. Let me stand up, guys. Yeah. Let me just stand up. Oh, oops. Let's stand. Guys, let's go like and sub. Let's go. So I love my life. I get so smart. I did try to survive. Yeah, guys, please, let's take two seconds to like and to subscribe. Thank you so much. And drop your names on the comment section. Let's go. Let's go. Go. Oh, wow. Please, let's drop our names on the comment section. Thank you so much. Let's go, guys. A big shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Michael. Let's go. A big shout out to Milan. Shout out to Nali. Shout out to Iona. Shout out to Shan. Shout out to Sham. Shout out to Paisley. Baho. A big shout out to Daniel. Shout out to Kiki. Shout out to Briella. Shout out to, your accent is amazing. Thank you so much, Brookie. A big shout out to Shami. Shout out to Azaline. Shout out to Cornelia. Shout out to Amelia. Shout out to Lizzie. Shout out to Adna. Shout out to Daniela. Shout out to Rex. Shout out to Azali. Shout out to Ami. Shout out to Adna. Shout out to Sham. Shout out to Hope. Yes, Queen. Shout out to Kim. A big shout out to Lily. Shout out to Audley. I love you so much. I love you too. Yay. Shout out to Azali. Shout out to Amy. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Vika. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to JC. A big shout out to Pesley. You sub. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Shout out to Pessin. Shout out to Elisa. I just feel like. A big shout out to Maria. Shout out to Anticipate. Shout out to Kenda. Shout out to Aria. Shout out to Ama. A big shout out to Roga. Shout out to Alma. Shout out to Good. Shout out to Amma. Shout out to Zane. Shout out to Pesley. Bua. Shout out to Roga. Shout out to Good. Shout out to Daria. Shout out to Olivia. A big shout out to Aria. Shout out to Azali. Let's go. Shout out to Me. Guys, let's go like and subscribe. Yeah, 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Let's like and sub. Just 2 seconds. Then drop your names on the comment section back to back. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. 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 Please, let's do this very fast. Let's do this very fast. 2 seconds to like and sub. Then go to the comment section and drop your names back to back. Back to back. A big shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Morgan. Shout out to Me. A big shout out to Sonia. Shout out to Alice. Shout out to KKK. Shout out to Broccoli. I like your hair. Thank you so much, darling. A big shout out to Cornelia. Shout out to Brooke. Shout out to Skylar. Shout out to Kathy. Shout out to Maria. Let's go, go, go. Big shout out to Kathy. Shout out to Naledi. A big shout out to Mika. Shout out to Easy. Shout out to Dan. Shout out to Niham. Shout out to Grace. A big shout out to Jean. Shout out to Nali. Shout out to Milam. Shout out to Gracie. Shout out to Janet. Shout out to Gabriella. A big shout out to Gina. Shout out to Sadiq Shah. I love your accent. Thank you so much. Clark it. Shout out to Fatima. Shout out to Michael. Shout out to Mila. Shout out to Ketsia. Shout out to Mavi. Shout out to Nana.
No, it's not there.
Let's go. A big shout out to Mika. Shout out to Pesley. Shout out to Aria. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Bunny. Shout out to Lily. Guys, let's go like and sub. Guys, let's go like and subscribe. A big shout out to Mira.
Shout out to Mickey.
Oh dear. A big shout out to Chloe. A big shout out to Andre. Shout out to Evans. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Frida. No, Freddie. I beg your pardon. Shout out to Esme. Shout out to Iris. Shout out to Miha. Like a big shout out to Emilia. Shout out to Freddie. Shout out to Alicia. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Darion. Shout out to Alicia. Shout out to Olivia. Olivia. Let's go. Shout out to Mira. Shout out to Kayla. Guys, put your names on the comment section back to back. Let's go. Let's put our names on the comment section back to back. Let's go. Guys, let's go. Let's go, 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 go. A big shout out to Lucia. Shout out to Ethan. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Lucia. Shine bright like a diamond. Thank you. Thank you, bestie. Thank you so much. Do you subscribe? Oh, thank you so much, darling. Please put your name on the comment section. I'll give you a shout out. A big shout out to Asha. Shout out to Freddie. Shout out to Ima. Shout out to Bobby. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Lone. A big shout out to Jackson. A big shout out to Lily. Shout out to Anaya. Shout out to Essay. I know it's only Maddie that know my name. So when I see it, I know it's Maddie. Hi, Maddie. Hope you had a lovely day. Bless you, my lovelies. A big shout out to Mila. Shout out to Ima. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Lulu. Shout out to Progress. A big shout out to Felix. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Progress. Sure you want to charge it. Guys, let's go like and sub. Give your papa. Guys, please, let's go like and subscribe. Thank you. And drop your names on the comment section back to back. Please, if you sub, please, let's just drop your names on your name on the comment section.
Your dad.
A big shout out to Massin. A big shout out to Lulu. Shout out to Adeline. A big shout out to Massin. Shout out to Emilan. Cheers, guys. Please, let's go like and sub. Let me drink some warm tea. Guys, don't forget, please drop your names on the comment section. Very hot. Very hot. And I need to drink. Okay, let me put on in this cup. Cheers, guys. Please, let's go like and sub. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Lulu. Shout out to Evelyn. Shout out to Sam. Kiki, you are so much fun. Let's see. Let's see that. Oh, I can't see it. You're so much fun, and I can't stop watching your live stream and seeing you happy. Bye. A big shout out to Sophia and Coco. Sophia and Coco. Cheers, everyone. Cheers. A big shout out to Naomi. Shout out to Rosie. Shout out to Jessica. I mean. You are the best girl. Thank you. A big shout out to Emilia. You are the best as well. A big shout out to Livia. Shout out to Make Beer. Shout out to Perry. Shout out to Cash. Shout out to Jay. A big shout out to Onta. So, no, not now, please. Not question for now, not now. Later. A big shout out to Genesis. I will tell you when it's time, please. A big shout out to Cash. A big shout out to Chloe. A big shout out to Genesis. Shout out to Marcus. Shout out to Hapa. A big shout out to Onta. Shout out to Marcus. Shout out to Prophet. A big shout out to Isla. A big shout out to Rosie. Guys, let's go. A big shout out to Bria. Brina. Yeah, guys, let's go. Please, let's go like and sub. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, please, let's click on the like button and the subscribe button. Thank you. A big shout out to Sky. Shout out to Amy. Shout out to Anika. Shout out to Funchi Yamanda. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Funchi Yamanda Semo. Shout out to Fabien. Bless America. Shout out to Super Bowl. Shout out to Shekeli. Shout out to Ima. Shout out to Sophia and Coco.
Did you see the headshot I just did? Yeah. That was such a flick. I barely even saw him. Okay, they're using RPG.
A big shout out to Cavell. A big shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Allah or Ella. A big shout out to Ivanka. Shout out to Yuchan. Guys, please let's go like and sub. Thank you so much. Can we take the like up to 200, please? Guys, please let's take the like up. And please let's subscribe. Can we please? A big shout out to friend. We are friend. Do you mean friend? Yeah, guys, please let's drop your names on the comment section. I give you a shout. Yeah, drop your name on the comment section, guys. Back to back. A big shout out to Ezra7. A big shout out to Cole. Shout out to Ling. Shout out to Eva. Shout out to Zanda. Shout out to Yu Chang. Clark it. Clark it. Someone said say it. A big shout out to Talia. Shout out to Paisley. Shout out to JB Gaming. Shout out to Artamish. You're welcome, dear. You're welcome. A big shout out to Ali. Shout out to Zanda. Shout out to Bray. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Yoncha. Shout out to Bill. Shout out to Caitlin. Shout out to Evaline. Shout out to Amelia. Sorry for that. Shout out to Shada. A big shout out to Mabel. Shout out to Embali. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Skylar. A big shout out to Anna. A big shout out to Dolly. Shout out to Carmelo. Clock it. Guys, let's go. Please, let's go like and sub.